Welcome back to this Let's Play of Hades. Today, we're going to be experimenting with the bow, also known as Coronat the Heartseeker. So the bow's attacks include a power shot if you charge and release at just the right moment, a regular shot, a dash attack, and its special, which fires a whole bunch of arrows at once. It's most useful for when you're standing right next to someone. And that's the bow. So let's get this underway.
Again.
Looks like we got a Daedalus hammer right off the bat. None of these are super great, but let's go with Relentless Volley. That'll make our special a little bit stronger. So, as I've noted in the thread, I am not a huge fan of the bow. Some people are. It's a testament to how well this game is made that anyone can be a fan of pretty much any style of play, and they all work really well. But the bow, for me, I don't like spending my time out of melee combat. I prefer to get up close and personal, and the bow does allow that in some ways. The special, you can get right next to an enemy, especially with the boon I got from Daedalus Hammer, and rip them to pieces. But for the most part, you'll be spending your time away from enemies, shooting from a distance. Looks like we got an Aphrodite room.
What? Payback. Oh, it's her. It must be a mess. Let's see here. Hi there. In the name of Hades, Olympus, I accept this message.
Why, hello there, little godling. I have to say, you're quite the specimen, and so I've decided I shall aid you for the moment. You interested?
So let's look at our options. I'm going to go with Heartbreak Push. So I don't believe we discussed weak before. Aphrodite deals in the weak status effect, and it does pretty much what's on the tin. It makes enemies' attacks hurt you less. It's a pretty decent status effect to have, especially later on when you get bonuses for stacking them on top of each other. I mean, it's predicated on the fact that you're going to get hit, but you will eventually get hit, and it's always nice to not take as much damage when you do.
By my birthright.
So we don't really need a pomegranate. Let's head over to this room.
You wretches. That's what you get. Hello, Lord Ares.
You wield Coronat, the Heartseeker. It pierced 3 titans in one shot back in the war amongst our kind. Please do take care of it.
So Ares deals in blade rifts, doom, and occasionally increasing your damage. Urge to Kill is a pretty good buff. My standard attack could use buffing, but I'm going to skip it for now and grab Urge to Kill.
The will to fight.
Because Urge to Kill is just generally all around a pretty good buff. Well, we're down here, by the way. I wanted to talk a little bit of Tartarus. So Tartarus, the area we're in now, in Greek mythology, can refer to 2 things. It can refer to a god Tartarus, one of the primeval gods, or it can refer to the place we're at now, which is one of the realms of Hades. It's a place where the Titans were banished when they were killed, and where, in general, the gods send people they don't like. We'll meet a few of them, Possibly. Maybe not this run. But there's a few friends we'll run into who you'll recognize from Greek mythology. Also, these guys are messing me up. For no good reason. Looks like a mini boss up ahead.
You lads again, huh?
These guys are particularly easy to deal with the bow, as the attack where they blow the area around themselves up isn't really a problem anymore. And it's pretty easy to see when they're going to throw at you from a distance.
Anyone out? It's Uncle Number 2. It's got to be. Then, in the name of Hades, Olympus, I accept this message.
Ahoy there, little Hades. You recognize your uncle, do you not? We've a lot of catching up to do, but first things first. You get yourself out of that dour underworld. As for me, I'll see if I can stir things up a bit to cover your advance.
So Poseidon deals in some pretty solid boons. Mostly in boons that will damage the area around you and knock things back. Tidal Dash, for instance, is a pretty good boon. It works better when you have more dashes. I'm going to go with that, because the other two... Hydraulic Might is interesting, but I prefer things that don't run out after a certain amount of time.
The power of the seas should be of help.
And speaking of people who were banished to Tartarus,
Your Highness.
you might know this guy.
Hey, Prince Ed. Must look like I'm slacking off with the old boulder here, but I was just getting back on my feet. The Fury Sisters don't often leave me be. Where'd they go, anyway? And, what are you doing here?
Oh, you know, just out on a little stroll is all. Do me a favor, though. You see the Fury Sisters, let them know I was headed down the way I came from, will you?
Oh, I'll let them know, all right. I hear you loud and clear, Your Highness. I'll just go about my business now, and you take care.
So Sisyphus gives us the opportunity to heal up, get some darkness, or get some money. We're pretty good on health, so let's grab some darkness. It's quite a bit, too, 57.
Thank you, mate.
Also, here's Boldy, his boulder. We'll talk to him more later. But for now, let's proceed onward.
Godspeed and all.
Oh, no.
Security.
Alright, we've run into a security room. In this room, the goal is to survive for 45 seconds. Enemies will continuously spawn. You can kill them to get a meager amount of money for each kill. I am probably not going to do that too much. I'll just focus on surviving here. And demonstrating
Stay dead next time.
this Poseidon boon. So whenever I dash, I hit everything around me with an attack that knocks things back. As I said, the more dashes you have, the more useful it becomes. As I only have one right now, it's not as great, but it's still pretty good. I mean, it's free damage.
Almost.
Enough.
There. I'll take it.
We've got enough money for a shop, but we've never seen a gemstone before, so let's take a look at that.
Numbskulls. Gemstones.
So gemstones are used with a house contractor. We've seen him before in one of the screenshot updates. But I think this is the first time I've actually run into a gemstone in a dungeon. And honestly, they're not, most of the time, they're not that great of a pickup. There's only a few really useful things you can buy with gemstones. They're mostly cosmetic. But hey, Zagreus needs a nice house, so we'll pick some up occasionally. Here we have Karen's shop. Let's see what Karen has to say.
Fine day to you as well there, mate. Now let's have a look at your supplies, shall we?
I don't feel like I need the Artemis boon. I do feel like the health will help.
Pleasure doing business.
And I might as well grab this just to round it out.
Beyond the present chamber lies the outermost perimeter of Tartarus, promising terrifying dangers far beyond the Underworld Prince's reckoning.
And I can reckon quite a bit.
Now let's give that boss another try.
Oh, hello.
Ever stubborn, aren't you? Maybe my whip might make you reconsider whatever it is that you're attempting here.
Your whip's not been all that persuasive in the past.
Maybe persistence will pay off for both of us. Come then.
Meg also gets easier when you have the bow. It's easier to see when she's going to dash. It's easier to get out of the way of that attack. So yeah, her two main attacks are dashing and the close range whip. She has a few more that we'll probably see pretty soon, like this. This one is pretty easy to avoid, especially if you played any bullet hell shooters before. You just kind of stand between the projectiles. Unless she does this pattern, which is a little harder.
Don't scratch.
Once she gets to half health, she is invincible for a brief moment. Then we get right back to it. Fun fact about Meg, by the way. The Furies are agents of justice and vengeance. Meg specifically was associated with jealousy and envy. Alright, I'm tired of these witches. There we go. She also has attack. If you had a melee weapon, what you would do is you would dash towards her every time she shoots away from you. It's a little harder with the bow. Also, as you might have noticed, my special attack and regular projectiles will eat her projectiles, so that's pretty useful.
Bastard. Impossible.
And that's Meg.
Got you. The ancient blood. Achilles might know what to do with this.
And we pick up some Titan blood. We won't be able to do anything with this for a little while, so we'll just hang on to it for now.
How did you?
Here between levels, we have a fountain we can recover at, a place we can sell boons, which is usually, almost always, a bad idea. No reason to sell your boons unless you're absolutely desperate for money. Here at the shop, we get mostly things that'll give us upgrades for the next set number of encounters, like this Ichor. Or we can get life essence, which I do kind of need, so we'll take that. And head on up.
Made it this far. Clear. Now we're getting somewhere.
So welcome to Asphodel. It's a little closer to what you might picture when you think of hell. It's also a very wide open, spread out kind of area that enemies tend to have pretty wide movement options. You have to chase them down a lot. It's kind of an annoying area to fight through. Although the enemies themselves are fairly manageable.
Must be the last of them.
Let's see, what do we want to level up here? Tidal Dash is always good. Urge to Kill is also good. I'm thinking, even though I haven't been using it too much, we'll upgrade the special.
Where now?
And grab a few more gems. We already got a lot of darkness from Sisyphus.
Steady now.
So gems are always nice.
Inferno bombers.
And I'm thinking we'll head this way. I can't afford anything at a shop. And the boon we're going to get off of this will generally always be useful in some way.
Slam dancers.
Also, I am going to have to start using my special a lot more because my attack is, I just remembered, unupgraded. So I'm still doing the base damage with everything. Whereas my special is quite upgraded.
Gust of air. This mark, almost like a bat wing. In the name of Hades, Olympus, I accept this message.
Hey boss, found you. Good. Hermes, at your service. Pleasure. You are the talk of Olympus. Normally I wouldn't get mixed up, but for you, I'll be making an exception. Now come on, we've both got places to be.
All my homies love Hermes. Hermes boons work with pretty much whatever build you're trying to run. He just has good stuff. In fact, I was complaining about how much I didn't have enough dashes. He can give me some dashes.
Appreciate the lift, Lord Hermes, sir. Now let's go.
We've also got a new mini-boss here. Giant Gorgon head.
That's a problem.
And big stompy guy. The Gorgon head, of course, freezes you in place so that the stompy can smash you, as happened just a second ago. The Gorgon Head also has this annoying habit of floating off of the area you can actually walk on and into the lava. Which isn't that bad when you're using the bow, but if you have a melee weapon, it's pretty terrible. Not a great fight.
Until next time, gigantic Gorgon Head.
You've met the Master of the Seas, Poseidon, haven't you? Our uncle's affable but quick to anger. Be on your guard with him is my advice.
And we
Switch
finally
to a different boon.
get an upgrade for our cast. As I mentioned before, I'm a big fan of Phalanx Shot. I think it's a pretty solid cast. Not phenomenal, there are better, but it does a lot of damage. And I also forgot I only have one cast at the moment. That's a shame. A common problem in Asphodel with your cast is that it will, if you miss, fly way off the screen because the area is so huge. And then you'll have to wait a while to get it back. Thankfully, my aim's been pretty good so far.
Some nectar.
Grab
there.
some nectar.
Perfect.
We could probably give this as a gift to the next god we run into. We've done enough gemstones. Let's hit some darkness. And I'm feeling like I need a shop for some health. Although it might not matter in a moment. It will not matter. That's a shame. Let's buy some darkness and
Just what I need.
then we see something new.
Hello? Oh, great.
This is the Lernian Bone Dragon. He is our second boss. Unfortunately, I now have to kill both myself and a bunch of time. So, let's talk about some Lernian Hydra history. This guy, before he was a bunch of bones, lived in Lake Lerna in the Argolid region of Greece. He's better known as just the Hydra, and he was killed by Hercules as part of his second labor. Supposedly he was able to spray poison and regenerate lost heads, abilities that he sort of has in this game. He can shoot projectiles, they're not exactly poison. Anyway, Hercules killed it by cutting off its heads and burning the necks with fire, which is presumably how it got here in the underworld as just a mass of bones. Anyway, looks like he got me. So we'll see what's beyond him next time.